Hey everyone, it's your host Wade Franson, created in the image of God. I have an amazing guest in the studio. As you know, we've been exploring the idea of journalism in the context of not bearing false witness. And of course, out of the mouths of 2 or 3 witnesses, a thing will be established, but those witnesses often have differing points of view. And in our fragmented echo chamber, cancel culture world in which we live, things seem to be getting worse. We have someone in the studio who has done something about it. He's dedicated his life since 2019 to founding something called Tangle, in which you can learn about these events being processed from the left, right, and the center in one place. Welcome to the studio, Isaac Saul.
Thanks for having me, Wade. I'm glad to be here.
Well, it's been a pleasure. And you know, this sneak peek is being recorded just days after the Charlie Kirk assassination. And we're not going to talk about that per se, but we're going to talk about how the function that Tangle serves in an environment such as this, where people are just spinning this thing a bunch of different ways. How does Tangle, what is the role and mission of Tangle in covering a story like this?
Well, I think, first of all, our role and mission is to expose you to a wide range of viewpoints. That's what we do on every topic. So if you read our coverage about Charlie Kirk, you'll see arguments and reactions from people on the right, from people on the left, from people whose politics maybe are harder to define. And that's the number one principle for us, is the viewpoint diversity. But we're also just trying to be human. I mean, that's a core value for us, is we want to talk about the news like real people, not robots. So, we discuss the Charlie Kirk story in the context of a father who won't be going home to his 2 young children anymore, a family destroyed, a political movement that's going to be lit on fire by this tragedy. I think all those things have to be part of the story, and that's the kind of coverage that we try and offer.
Well, and thank you for that. So, in this sneak peek, we don't have time to get into it, but we will for a full hour live on the show, which will be airing October 21st at 8 p.m. Central. Meanwhile, before you founded Tangle in 2019, you did other things. What was it that led to this in your life?
Yeah, I like to say I kind of had 2 Genesis stories. The first one is that I grew up in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, which is a bellwether county in a bellwether state that decides the presidential election basically every year. So suffice it to say, I have friends, family members, colleagues, teammates from all across the political spectrum. And I just grew up in an environment where I knew and loved people who didn't agree on politics. And so I always was comfortable in different political spaces. And then the second Genesis story is I went to work in the mainstream media and I saw how the sausage was made, and I didn't like it very much. And I realized that there weren't many media organizations out there trying to build something for all Americans, regardless of their political views, a place where all my friends and family could come under one roof and read the news. And so I tried to build that place, and that's kind of the mission I've been on since.
Yeah, the center does seem razor thin these days, and I'm glad that you're working on expanding that. The one thing we haven't touched on is religion. It's ironic that you used Genesis. I've recently been writing that there are 2 Genesis creation stories, right? Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis chapter 2 provide the perspective. First, the cosmic perspective from God's view of him creating by fiat, and then the human perspective in Genesis chapter 2 of God kneeling down in the dirt and getting his hands dirty and crafting us personally out of the soil, not saying let there be light, but physically molding us. And we'll get into religion as well. There's a little bone I'm throwing to the audience who wants that as well, because there's, that's another topic where there are multiple opinions. So all of this and more will be being discussed on October 21st, 8 p.m. Central Time, created in the image of God with Isaac Saul, founder of Tangle. Don't miss it.